Hi everybody, this is Lance from ThetaTraders.com. This video I'm going to be doing a weekly type video on economic news for June 9th to 14th. Also earnings for the week for relatively bigger stocks and just some technical analysis on the major indices. We'll do SPY, IWM, QQQ, and let's get right to it. First, let me go over what these lines and bars represent. We're going to keep them the same each week. So you want to be checking in on Sunday evening each week, and I'm going to be doing these economic indicators, technical indicators. So the blue one is the 9 EMA. This pink one is a 21 EMA. And then the green's more of a long-term to 200 simple moving average. Also, I have the volume profile here. This shows at what price a lot of transactions are happening. Then we have the MACD and we have the RSI. So if we look at SPY in the last few weeks, we did get a big gap up when the tariff news was not going to be as eventful as we expected. And then we've been consolidating pretty much from the 581 down to like 576, but we are in a bullish trend. As you can see, higher high again, and then lower low, higher low, I mean. So right now we're at 600.83, which is the recent all-time high. Looking at the volume profile, we have a good amount of volume at the 590. So 590 could act as a support. Let's zoom in a little bit here. 560 was a lot of volume because we were at this level for quite a while. And we do have a gap from that 577 down to the 565 or so. So recent and short term, we might look around the 590 as some possible support levels, which would make it a 10-point drop from SPY. And then further down the line, probably as like a medium term, looking at the 560. I'm looking at the EMAs. Right now we're above the 921 EMAs and above the 200 SMA. So these are all bullish trends. Next, you want to look at MACD. MACD has been positive. It is starting to turn possibly. So there's a chance that the moving averages might consolidate here. And we also have the RSI that's near oversold. Right now it's at 64. Typically we look for 70 or above to be oversold. So we might be losing a little bit of steam here, but there's not many indications that we'll see a significant drop. So the QQQs. QQQs have a very similar profile. We're at 533 as the high. We have big support level of 519. So very similar to SPY, about a 10-point drop is a good amount of volume here. Still above all the EMAs, higher highs. MACD is possibly starting to curl. And then RSI is a little bit higher, 66. So we hit the peak of 70. It just kept going past it. Not as much volume after about a week ago. The volume was a bit low on the Friday. It could just be summer making it a low volume. I think we could possibly consolidate there. Another thing I wanted to look at is expected move for the week. So if you look at QQQ, for instance, right now the expected move on QQQ is 10.28, which is very similar to where this high volume area is at the 517 to 533. Expected move means there's about a 68% chance we could go up or down around 10 points in the week for QQQ. SPY, let's look at the expected move. 6 days out, looking at about 10.28. That's QQQ, sorry. So SPY, very close, about 10.4. So SPY, QQQ have very similar setups. IWM, small caps, did get a pretty good gap up here. Volume at the 207. Also at the 202. So we could hit the 207. If it uses that as support, it might bounce up. If it doesn't act as support, we could get down to the 203. MACD starting to curl, possibly negative. RSI is pretty high. So all these indications are showing that we could consolidate here. We might be running out a little bit of steam. For IWM, it has a 200-day simple moving average that we're not above yet as well. For the expected move on IWM, 6 days out, looking at about 5 points or so, but IWM has a smaller stock price. Next, some economic news and earnings. For this week, we have GME. Small cap won't probably move the market too much, but if you like to play small caps, I'd consider it. Chewy, medium cap. Oracle's a pretty big higher cap, and Adobe and Robinhood. That's R8, that's not Robinhood. Oracle and Adobe are the two ones that I would consider looking at. Oracle's at 170. Above all the EMAs except the 200 SMA. 207. So a 5-point move is where a lot of volume is. It would help to be in the right stock. Okay. Oracle's actually more bullish here. It's above the EMAs. RSI is overbought at the 72. If we look at like a 13-day expected move, we're looking at 15 points though, which is about 10%, a little bit less than 10% for 13 days. If we go to 6 days, it's 14. So that's why there's a big implied volatility because of earnings coming up for the week. But then when we go another week out, it's almost identical. That's why expected moves tend to be much higher during earnings reports. ADBE, Adobe is another one. Adobe's at 416. Not above the 500 SMA, but we're above the 2 EMAs. We have a lot of volume right where we're at 415. MACD was very bullish, might start to curl, and RSI is at 58. If we get Adobe, 32-point move, so about 7% up or down. Things that could possibly move the market a bit. They're not as large cap as, the Nvidias and Apples and whatnot, but something to look at. Next are these economic reports. Wholesale inventories won't really show much. Consumer price index could show some movement on Wednesday. This is 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, so an hour before the market opens. Definitely look at the CPI, consumer price index year over year. And the federal budget could be something to consider. I know Trump was saying that he's going to make an announcement about the Fed chair possibly this week. Jobless claims on Thursday morning, producer price index, and PPI. Those could possibly move the market as well. All right, so that was just the technical analysis, earnings reports, and economic reports that will be coming for the week of June 9th to 14th. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below this video. Like, share, all that support is great. Also, in the description down below, there is a funnel for getting access to this, other videos, and more insider info and knowledge that I'm giving out. It's free. It won't be on the YouTube channel. So you want to click subscribe on that and the funnel. And everyone have a good rest of the day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.